All right, guys. So we all set to start our session. So once again, welcome you all in the session. And let me share my screen. Then we officially start this session. So let me know if you guys are able to see my screen. Can you just raise your hand or say yes, you're able to see in chat so I can come to know you guys are able to see my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen? Can you please confirm?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks, Azu. What about others? Avinash, CJ, Gautam, Vishnu, Parth. You guys are able to see, able to hear?
Runs.
All right. Good. So probably other people are also going to join very soon. Meanwhile, let's start slowly and we'll try to understand the basic fundamental of the Palo Alto firewall, right? So we'll try to understand step-by-step process, right? What is the step-by-step process? How we like start our career in the Palo Alto firewalls. Not only the Palo Alto, overall the firewalls, what is the career scope we have and how the things is going to move, what is the career opportunity we have, how much growth we are going to get. So these all things are going to discuss, right? And also we'll try to understand the different course modules, whatever available in the Palo Alto and what the course module and what the course content we are going to cover here. All right. So we go slowly, step by step, but definitely we'll try to cover the basic fundamental of the Palo Alto firewall. Yesterday we have done the discussion about the FortiGate firewall. So because I'm the instructor of this all technologies, so if you guys having any kind of the clarity, like if you want to understand like what is the difference between the FortiGate and the Palo Alto, so definitely you can go on the channels and see. Yesterday we have the session. This is a FortiGate firewall, so you can just refer this, okay? And you're going to understand the step by step process. What is then how it is going to be happen for the FortiGate firewalls. Similarly, we have the checkpoint firewall also, right? So in checkpoint firewall also we have the similar concept. So we have to understand which firewall we should start our career and why we should start our career with this particular firewall. But most important thing we have to understand, shall we really need to start learn about the firewalls or we have to understand about the firewalls? Is it really my requirement necessity or I can opt some other career option as well? That is also most important. Let's suppose I am the network engineer and I'm working since many years and I am stuck at some point like 8 lakh LPA, 10 lakh LPA, 12 lakh LPA, or maybe the 5 lakh LPA. I'm not able to grow in my professional journey. I'm not able to earn like 20 lakh, 25 lakh, 30 lakh, even the 40 lakhs kind of the package. So what can I do? And what are the, we have the highest skilled like basically opportunity in terms of the networking and security, and by doing those kind of opportunity, by completing those kind of opportunity, especially learning those kind of technology, I can earn more and more, right? So we also try to understand those kind of stuff as well. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so once again you all welcome in the session and I'll be the instructor, and throughout this session I'll going to explain step by step all the process, how this course curriculum is going to be happen and what we are going to cover and how the course content is going to look like, and in addition of that how basically you're going to do the practical sessions in a lab environment. So let me, before I'm going to give further any kind of the introduction about the Palo Alto, you just have to understand about your practical sessions. That's the most important, because in many scenario I have seen people have the very good theoretical knowledge. But when it's come to the real deployment, let's suppose you have to deploy the Palo Alto firewall, you have to configure the Palo Alto firewall. You probably stuck there. You don't have the lab opportunity. You don't know how to start and what is the step-by-step process to complete the lab parts. So in this like live trainings, along with the theoretical part, whatever we are going to cover in the theoretical part, that is definitely going to be covered. But most focus is going to happen on the practical path, right? Means once we understand the theoretical concept, we must have to check in the lab environment as well. Why it is very important? Because if I'm not going to test my theoretical knowledge, if I'm not going to deploy my theoretical knowledge in the lab, right? So probably I'm not going to understand the outcome of my learning. So this is the most important. So that's why we have the lab environment that can be accessed from the anywhere of the world, right? You just have to use a similar URL. This URL is going to land on the page, right? Let me show you. So probably you just have to log in. Let me just log out this particular, right? So you're going to get the username and password. You just have to log in. I'm just using by admin username and password. Similarly, you're going to get your username and password. Once you have the username and password, we have the different labs here. So probably you want to do the SD-WAN, FortiGate, Palo Alto, right? You want to do some CCNA, CCI, CCNP kind of the labs. Also Zscaler, some sort of the labs we have, right? Very limited, but yes, we have little bit. So if you want to do that, right? So probably you can get an access of that particular folders, right? And based on that folder, let's suppose you want to use the pre-built topology. There is no configuration at all, but there is a network topology. You can just think about the network design diagram is available. And in this particular design diagram, we have the lot of devices available. Might be the Palo Alto firewall. Definitely, it is going to be there. You have to be use the switches. You have to use the might be the routers. You might be have to use the servers and the Calendars machine. That this is just for the real time vulnerability, virus, DOS attack kind of the things we are going to use there. So based on that, probably we can do the different kind of simulations. If I'm talking the simulations, that means we are going to understand a step-by-step process, how and what approach we have to use to configure the firewall, and what is the different methodology we have to configure the different zones, and how one zone is going to communicate with other zone, what is the untrust meaning, trust meaning, DMZ meaning. This is the basic foundations we have to understand, and at the same time we have to configure the Palo Alto firewall with the layer 2 interface deployment, layer 3 interface deployment. We have to do routing, we have to do switching, we have to do policy configuration, NAT configuration, and lot of advanced feature. So probably if you see the quickly the course content, we have a lot to understand in this Palo Alto firewall course curricula. So you can see we have the total 12 modules, and all module is going to be covered without any hiccups, and every lab is going to be tested in our lab environment. So the key goal, right? Once we start this session, we have to make a very good solid foundation. That solid foundation is going to give the very good understanding about the product. Once you have the very good understanding of the product, you are going to gain like hands-on lab knowledge, like how to make your like hand dirty by doing the labs. So you just have to start doing the lab deployment. Once you start doing the lab deployment, you start facing the different challenges. Those challenges are going to discuss during the classes. Definitely, I'll cover those challenges initially before you're going to deploy the labs. But yes, even I being the instructor, I can explain each and everything, but still you being a learner, you're going to do a lot of mistakes. So those mistakes can be discussed within the class. The class people are going to leverage those kind of the discussion, and based on that discussion, they are able to make their mindset. Yes, this kind of problem is going to happen, then this is going to be solution. This kind of problem is going to happen, then that is kind of solution is going to apply. So in interview process, just think about what is the benefits is going to happen. So once you have the challenges, different scenario, and you already know, already discuss with your colleague, already discuss with your instructor, already you have a lot of use cases. So definitely that is going to be your lifelong memory. If I'm talking lifelong memory, that means you are going to remember for the long period of time. And if you are going to appear for the interviews, so definitely that is going to help you a lot. So this is the most important thing you have to take care in mind. So these all advantages we are going to get throughout this session. Okay. So it's just an overview, but let's discuss about the Palo Alto, more about the Palo Alto. I'm not going to discuss my course content. I'm not going to discuss about the certification. I'm not discussing about what is the Palo Alto, what is the different product, what is the firewalls, and what is the company overview. They are the basic things we definitely going to discuss in the next session. Probably we'll get a time we'll discuss today only. But let's see. But first thing we just have to understand if I want to little bit do the research about the Palo Alto. So what is the Palo Alto and what kind of the training material available for the Palo Alto, right? So I just simply going in the Google, right? And if I'm going in the Google, I'm just going to search here Palo Alto Education Services. So you just type it. So here you can see Palo Alto Education Services. You just have to click in the very first link and you are landing in the official Palo Alto Firewall page. Okay. So if I am landing official Palo Alto Firewall page, so you can see they are talking about a lot of products. They are talking about the solutions. They are talking about the services. They are talking about the partners. They are talking about the companies. So what is this Palo Alto, right? First, we have to understand what is this Palo Alto and what kind of the product they are going to make in industry. So for that, you have to understand, might be you are coming from the network background. So you must be know about the different vendors. And what is different vendors? We know about the Cisco. Cisco is the very popular vendor available in the market. So Cisco is there. And along with Cisco, we have the Juniper, right? We have the HP, right? We have the Nokia. We have a lot of vendor. We have the Versa. We have like what else? We have even Palo Alto is also. You can just think about. So these are the major vendor. Other vendors are also available in the market. So Cisco, what kind of devices they are going to make, right? So they are going to generate the routers. Means they produce the router. They are going to produce the switches, right? They're also going to produce the firewalls and some other devices also. Juniper going to do the similar kind of stuff. HP also doing the similar kind of stuff. Nokia also, Versa also, and Palo Alto also going to do the similar kind of product. But Palo Alto basically not going to produce the router and switches. They are having the main focus to just produce the firewalls, and these firewalls are known as the network firewalls. So if I go here, let me use. So these Palo Alto firewalls are basically, this is the main product. They are going to produce the network firewalls. They also having other products that is going to be used for the cloud solution, that is going to be used for the your DC solutions. But the main product is the network firewalls. Not like they're going to produce Cisco like switches, router, eyes, firewalls, multiple products they are not going to put. But firewall itself, the Palo Alto firewall itself having a lot of capabilities. These firewalls can do the routings, means the Palo Alto firewall can do the router work, right? That's the routing. They can do the switching, so you can use as a switch as well, right? If you want to run the SD-WAN, these firewall also support the SD-WAN solutions, right? And also you want to integrate some third-party services, that is also possible. So these are the main foundation and fundamentals that is going to be offered by the Palo Alto. So Palo Alto is one of the vendors, or you can see is the OEM vendor that is going to manufacture the devices, and those devices are going to be used in the different industries, right? And what are those industries? Like we might be your company are using, so might be your company's IT industry, so that company is going to use that particular firewalls, that particular SD-WAN solutions, other Prisma Access solutions, SASE solution, that is a different thing. We'll discuss later on. Similarly, I'm the healthcare company, right? Might be I'm the very good, like I have the lot of branches in the healthcare, like hospitals, other kind of the departments. So I can just use the Palo Alto firewall to secure my data and communication. Might be the banking scenario, automobile scenario, FMCG scenario. So a lot of companies are there, railway, other government company agencies, stock exchange. So they all are using the networking and security solutions. So for that, Palo Alto also going to be considered because it's having the very high market cap. If I'm talking about the high market cap, that means this Palo Alto really having the good number of the customer in the market. So these Palo Alto firewalls are going to deploy everywhere. You're going to find that. So if my number of firewalls are deployed everywhere, so the engineers to manage the firewall is also going to be required. So engineer to manage the firewall is also going to require. That's why if someone having the skill set of the Palo Alto firewall, they are going to be very quickly handpicked to just do that work. And whatever the expectation in terms of the salary he is going to or she is going to ask to the company, probably if that is going to allow in their budget, that definitely going to be like provided by the company. So you are going to get a very good like kind of the salary. So I'll show you how much salary and like what is the job opportunity available on the Palo Alto Firewall in later stage. But yes, this is the vendor who is going to generate the different firewalls, and that firewall is going to use by different industry, and that industry, why the firewall they are going to use, just in layman language you can understand, to secure the company network, to secure the company data. We'll discuss the separate lecture what kind of security it is going to happen, what is the step-by-step process where the data is going to be processed from a network from in to out, out to in, and what scenario this firewall is going to protect you. But in overall, in layman language, in nutshell, if you want to understand, the Palo Alto firewall is just going to give the protection. So any kind of the unauthorized, any kind of malicious activity is going to happen through your network, that is going to be protected. So this is the vendor. Now let's talk about their education and learning path. Similar to the every certification, if you're going that, so you must have to understand the learning path. What is the learning journey you are going to get through the Palo Alto official website? So if I'm going to see here, so we have a lot of things available, instructor-led learning. If you want to pay, you can just register. It's a very costly training. Digital learning, it's again very costly. Even whatever you are just planning for the live session, it's a multiple time you are going to pay for the digital learning. They're going to give the credential certifications. Cybersecurity Academy, they also have. But if you see the courses, what is the courses available, right? In type of the digital learning, in type of the certification, instructor-led trainings, and micro credentials. And we have the type of the labels, like you are just beginner of the industry. So you just have to start with the introductory certifications. If you just click on the filter, if introductory, so you are going to get some certification type here. So let me filter. So you can see we have the different kind of the training. If you see as cloud security, we have this much training for the introductory part. If you go with the cyber security fundamental, we have that much training available for the official Palo Alto. And if you're going for the third is the network security. This is the most important. So this is the network security, which is we are going to target in our course curriculum. So you can see here how we can essentially manage the Palo Alto firewall configuration and management. This is the course name is EDU 210. Tools and utilities, how it is going to be used. Panorama, how it is going to be configured. Software firewall, what is the hardware firewall. PAN OS, firewall troubleshooting, we have next generation firewall, we have a lot of things we have to understand. Cloud delivered service, security firewalls, how it is going to use. So we have a lot of things. We have the SASE solutions also, right? So we don't know what is SASE. So in the introductory level, even we have the different field. You can see the last field is the threat and intelligence consulting. This is the one type of the skill set. The second skill set is like you have to become the security operation engineer. So you just have to more focus about the monitoring tool, say, monitoring and intelligence tool, kind of autofocus, some kind of the, like you have to prepare the report, and based on report, you just have to analyze and take in some action. That's a security operation. You have to become a SASE engineer as well, right? So this is the next level things. So you have to understand how the SASE engineer is going to build. What is the Prisma access? What is the Prisma SD-WAN? So this is the, again, next level of the firewall. And the most important, you have to be very good understanding of network security, because this is the base of the security. Without network security, in top of that, you can put a cherry. So that is going to be very, nice looks, and it is going to be very good gesture. But network security is the key component. If you will not have the very good foundation, even trying to put cherry on top, right? So it is going to be useless, because if foundation have not good taste, right? Let's say you want to make a very good cake, but the cake have no taste, useless, and if putting the cherry on top of that is also going to be useless. People are not going to like that. So you have to always make sure, like, what is the base you are going to build, that should be also very strong. And in top of that, you're going to put something that is going to be additional, that is going to be, eye catchy for the everyone. And it is going to easily make a second thought, or might be the first thought, they're going to hire you immediately without any issue. So that's the most. Hi, Suraj, you want to ask something? I believe he just joined.
Yeah, just
Okay, I muted you. So the network security is one of the most important thing that we are going to cover. I'll definitely discuss, right? And similarly, you can see here we have a lot of cyber security fundamentals. So we understand in yesterday session when I was talking about the FortiGate firewall. If you're still new, you don't know, so just watch the video, right? What is the cyber security challenges we have? right? And if I have the cybersecurity, then how I can be make a very robust threat defense. And to build the very robust threat defense, I have to use very useful devices. And one of the useful devices is the firewall. Without firewall, your 80 to 70% threat are always going to be there. All right. So this is are going to be create a problem if you don't have the very high or robust threat defense. Right? Just give me 1 minute. So this is how the cybersecurity fundamentals foundation is going to make a like the your life very easy if you're going to rightly deploy by leveraging the power of the this Palo Alto firewall. And initially you can see I just discussed about the cloud security because this is the now essential part of the any kind of the companies. Without cloud, the company network security or storage are incomplete. So basically earlier we have in the model architecture, we have the offices and all employers sitting in the offices. This is the office. So everyone is going to office and we have the data center kind of the architecture. So people have to communicate any application which is hosted in data center, apps are hosted in data center. So you just have to use the either MPLS circuit or might be you have to use the either internet circuit from office to reach the data centers, and all data centers are just going to be deployed across the globe by leveraging the DC and DIA format, and those are going to handle your all application. Means the applications apps are going to deploy like what can the apps might be your Citrix app, right? Your file share app, right? Any kind of the like you have kind of the share portal, right? So that is also going to be deployed there. Other type of also applications we have like any billing application, any kind of the storage you want to do that. So those kind of the stuff is going to deploy and people are going to access. But post pandemic or when once we have the like very good marketplace of the Azure, right? That is a public cloud. We have the AWS, we have the GCP. Once they enter in the market, they start offering the something which is going to save a lot cost, and your data is also going to be very easily deployed there and you can access from the anywhere. That is a cloud based solution. You can think in this way. Another example, you must be earlier, I hope everyone using USB stick, right? Everyone using USB stick. If I talk 5 year back or 7 year back, until now also people are using. So these USB sticks are very useful to just store my data. This come with the 8 GB, this come with the 16 GB, and might be the 32 GB and more than that also. So people are keep carrying those USB. You have to maintain them, you have to put in the safe places, and you're storing your data. But now we stop using this USB drive. Means we are using, but very less we are using. Why? Anyone notice? Anyone trying to give answer? Just I'm pausing for a few seconds. Can you just give me answer? What is the new culture of the storing the data? Anyone?
External hard drive and external SSD.
Yeah, that's really good, right? So external hard drive. What about the external hard drive and external SSD? What else?
I think cloud services are much more less costlier as compared to the other time, and the facilities available right now. So that's the reason most of the people try to use like OneDrive or other cloud services or G Drive to procuring their data.
Okay, very nice.
Cloud is also.
Cloud.
बट क्लाउड में सर कुछ कमियां भी तो है. क्लाउड हम लिमिटेड टाइम के लिए एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. उसमें डेटा जो पर एक्सटर्नल हार्ड ड्राइव को हम अपने लाइफ टाइम तो अपने पास रख सकते हैं. उसके लिए हर साल पे करना पड़ेगा. वो वन टाइम कॉस्ट है.
And what you guys are using right now? Let's suppose you have to like store some USB drive data. So where you guys are storing? Are you really going to use the cloud or something day to day you're using? Anything in coming in mind? Are you guys using the Google Drive?
The Google Drive is it is part of a cloud data only. We are using it a day to day basis.
Yes, this is what I wanted to make a point. So earlier we have to pay for the USB drive. If I am going to purchase a 16 GB USB drive, so I have to pay might be the 800 INR, right? 1000 INR or even less than that. Okay, I don't know exact price, but earlier it was having initially that much price. But I can store my video, I can store my photos, I can store my any kind of the documents there. There is no problem. But if I am using the Google account, I'm going to get up to 15 GB as a free storage. And if I have the multiple Gmail accounts, I don't have to buy anything. Still, I can store my data. So my things has been changed now. My earlier storage was happening in the USB drive. For that, I have to pay. But as per the current scenario, just have to create one of the email ID and I'm going to do the same thing. Most important part in this scenario, you have to pay. That is a one thing. Payment was one thing. Second, you have to maintain. Means why you have to maintain? Because if something is going to misplace, you have to put the safe place. You have to use the lockers. You have to always carry. If it is going to forget, your all data is going to be lost. So that was also a major issues. And second issues, if somebody is going to mistaken found this USB drive, or might be there's someone steal this USB drive from you, they can take your data and take an advantage. Like might be they can see your private photo, private video, some confidential data and all. So that is also not a good, right? So we have a lot of challenges. And if I want to travel somewhere, I need to carry my USB drive that time also. Makes sense. But if I replace with the Google Drive, first thing, I don't have to worry for any payment. It's a free up to 15 GB. So if I have to email my and my wife or might be my daughter, son or my parents, I can use and I can store a lot of data in there without any single penny cost. Second thing, do I need to do any maintenance? No, it's always uptime. It is always going to be open from anywhere. Just you require internet. And nowadays, internet is available everywhere and everyone is using the internet. So how convenient for me? I can access my data. I don't have to pay. And for access my data, I don't have to carry my USB drive. Google Drive can be accessible from anywhere. And it's also secure. Nobody going to open my drive without my password. And password is my mind. It's not like it's open. Anyone can go and just go and do that, like notorious thing about my USB drive like that. So this is how things has been changed. For the small level, you can just get an idea. Simple USB drive has been replaced with the Google Drive, right? The purpose is same, but now Google Drive is based on the cloud. So similarly, in companies, every companies, they have a lot of kind of the data storage mechanism. They have a lot of kind of servers. They have a lot of like kind of the networking and security devices, and they having their own infrastructure. And in this infrastructure, in this data, they have to pay a lot of cost. First, they have to maintain the network. Second, they have to t-shoot the network. They have to maintain the infra rent, right? Or might be they have their own infra, so might be they have to not pay rent, but their property is going to be occupied. If they are going to rent someone else, they are going to generate the extra revenue. And also they have to hire a lot of engineers. They have to pay to just manage data centers. So a lot of problem was there. So Azure and AWS, what did they? They basically say you, hey, come to me. I'll give you the rental space. And by using the rental space, you can do the same thing, whatever you're doing in the current scenario. So in this rental space, you can deploy your servers, you can deploy your routers, deploy your switches, deploy your all kind of the applications, everything. And this infra is managed by, let's suppose I have taken from the Azure, that is going to manage by Azure. Simply we have to connect this infra from your office LAN. Suppose this is your office LAN. This is your router. In between we have the ISP. This infra is connected to this and this. So any employee sitting in their office, they simply go from the switch to router to the data center. And from the data center, they can access the every application. So when someone is coming from the branch location and trying to access your application from the cloud data center, you have to maintain the security as well, and that is known as the cloud security. So how within the cloud infra, we have to make sure the right person is coming to access the right application, the right user having the right content while uploading and downloading through the data center which are hosted in the cloud. So any file he is downloading, uploading, that should be not the breach of the company policy. Any malicious content like threat, like virus, right, vulnerability should be protected. It's not like server have affected with a worm and malware kind of the things. So we have to deploy the cloud security, and for that we have the different products available for the Palo Alto. That is also Prisma Cloud Code Security. So in intermediate level, we understand a lot of certification we have to do that. And similarly, if you're going to filter for different kind of the uh, like the intermediate, introductory, advanced, you're going to find that. And the topics wise, you can see that we have the cloud security, network security, and cyber security, security operations, SASE, right, and threat detection prevention. So out of these topics, what we are going to cover here. So the most thing in a networking domain, we have to protect our network infrastructure. So that's why we have the topic here that we are going to start in this particular module as per the Palo Alto documentation. That is a network security. Okay. So we are not going to discuss about the cloud security for time being. In this particular course, we are not going to discuss the cloud security. We are not going to discuss about the security operations. Definitely we are discussing the troubleshooting scenario. We are not going to discuss the SASE because this is the next level of the security and cyber security. So this is the first step in a Palo Alto learning protocol or environment. If you want to become the security engineer, you should start with the network security. And in this network security, you see that a lot of certification are there. So we have the PCNSA. You can see the Palo Alto Network Certified Network, Palo Alto Network Certified Network Security Administrator. That is known as the PCNSA. And this is the intermediate level of certification. And if I talk about the PCNSE, that is a Palo Alto Network Certified Network Engineer, Network Security Engineer. That is a PCNSE, that is advanced level certification. So in this module, we are going to cover both of this particular course. You can see here, we are going to cover entirely PCNSA and PCNSE. So you are going to start your career with the PCNSA, and parallelly you are going to build a PCNSE career as well. For exam point of view, if you think about PCNSA, if you going to give the exam, you have to pay around $155 USD. But this is not mandatory. If you want to do the PCNSE directly, instead of PCNSA, even you can go that and you can directly pay for the 175 USD. So why I'm going to waste my money? If I'm going to cover both of the courses, so I can prepare my exam or learning journey for this particular course, right? And I'll go and give this exam. So this is always going to be higher than PCNSA. So it's choice to you. If you want to do both, you can do that, but there is no prerequisite to doing the PCNSE before PCNSA. So my recommendation, you directly go and give the PCNSE exam. Both are going to cover in this particular course module. In addition of that, we have the other certification, software firewall engineer. That is not required. You are going to learn in this particular module how even the software firewall is going to be configured, right? And also you have the panorama that is also covered in our module. There are some limitations in the panorama, but concept wise, you are going to 100% understand. Firewall troubleshooting, how the step-by-step configuration troubleshooting is going to happen. That all is going to cover debug, packet capture, different scenario, how it is going to happen. Those are going to be also cover it, right? So just give me 1 minute. So these are the different things like panorama. We have the firewall configuration management. So this is the official training for the Palo Alto. They provide to the different vendor. Like different company, they request for a different kind of the firewall training. So they have the 30 hours training, 4-hour training. They have different modules. But for us, these two are the most important, which is going to cover each and everything. There is no hours you can mention it. So this is the complete course. This is the complete curriculum That is a Palo Alto Network Security, right? Certified Network Security Administrator and Palo Alto Network Certified Network Security Engineer. These two courses are the main course that we are going to cover, and this is going to cover entire thing, whatever you can see that. So this is how the learning path is going to happen for the Palo Alto point of view. Any question till here? Anyone have? You may ask Hindi and English, whatever you feel. Let me know if you have any question. Okay,
No,
so this is the one thing. So we understand till here, right? Now moving to the our slides again. Now if I talk about the course content, right? So in this course content, it's starting with the platform and the architecture. Means if I talk, even we have the real hardwares. So during the trainings, you're going to see that how the real firewall is going to be look like. So I'll do some console level of the configuration also. I will show you the ports level of the configuration also, how the ports is going to be look like. What is the port uses are going to happen in different scenario. What is the console port? What is the management port? What is the fiber port? What is the other HA ports, USB port, different LED fans, those all things you guys are going to see on the live in actual firewalls. So that is going to give the another level of the experience, because when you see some products by your eye, then you have the better visibility about that. At least you know what is happening here, instead of just visualizing, just thinking about in something in virtually. So we'll show you how
सर
actual.
इसी बार ही तो ज्वाइन किया है दोबारा।
Thanks, Saurabh. Yeah.
वो पता है ना, आपने पिछले बैच में बोला था कि रियल फायरवॉल अगले बैच में पक्का दिखाऊंगा और उसको कॉन्फ़िगरेशन भी करके दिखाऊंगा।
So last batch also, the last batch was also having the real firewall configuration. I showed them, right, actual things, whatever the hardware
नहीं
probably.
नहीं नहीं सर, पिछले बैच में तो ये होता ना कि फोटो दिख नहीं रही थी।
Okay. अच्छा दिख नहीं था। हाँ ठीक है, राइट
हाँ,
राइट, आई फॉरगॉट, यस।
तो
ओके,
आपने बोला था ना नेक्स्ट बैच में पक्का दिखाऊंगा, जिसको ज्वाइन करना है वो आ जाना।
हाँ ठीक है, डन। So one session was happened, right, Saurabh? Thanks for reminding. One session was happened where I showed the students, right, everything. But this is also going to happen this time also. So everything has been settled. So I'll show you on the camera how it is going to happen, live camera, so you guys can see that also. So the single pass architecture with the flow logic, this is the most important. We are going to understand the firewall architecture, how the firewall architecture is going to look like, and what is the step by step like packet flow is going to be happen. So in the packet flow, if I go here, you can see these packet flow are having very complex kind of the scenario, but we'll try to understand these all complexity, how this packet flow is going to look like, and what does mean of the different sections which is available in this packet flow. What is the ingress? What is the egress? What is the slow path? What is the fast path? What is the application identification? What is the forwarding egress? What is the content inspection? So we'll understand each and everything, and I'll make sure you guys also understand, because trust me, if you are going to become the Palo Alto firewall engineer, and if you not have the right understanding how the packet is going to process within the Palo Alto firewall. Once the packet is going to land in the firewall interface, after it is going to means after landing, when it packet is going to process within the firewall, what all things is going to happen with those packets, and finally how the packet is going to leave from the firewall, from the exit interface. So in between, what all process is going to happen with that particular package. So we have the ingress interface where the packet is going to reach. We have the egress interface when packet is going to leave. So in between, we have to do the lot of work. Like we have to maintain, we have to check the content level of the inspection. We have to check the application level of the inspection. We have to check about the what kind of the session is going to be created, how the routing is going to be created, how the NAT is going to be created, right? Means not created based on our policies, how it is going to be maintained and create the sessions. So again, how the slow path, what is the fast path, what is the L2, L3, L4 processing, what is the SSL decryptions, what is the application identification, content inspection, that all is going to play a very vital role here. So that's why this is the very and most important when we start the official session. Trust me, let me mute. So this is going to start from your flow logic, but the step by step, you have to go with the your all configuration. You have to understand about the architecture. You have to do the initial configuration management. You have to understand about the licensing, software upgradation of the Palo Alto firewall, how the account administration is going to be happen. And let me meanwhile open the one of the firewall also. So let me start this firewall so we can see also how basically firewall is going to look like. It's a like I have done the already configuration in this firewall. But when we start our sessions officially about doing the lab, so we'll do from the almost zero, no configuration is going to be there. Okay. So let me started. So you have the third module where you have to understand the different type the interfaces. You have to think about what is the security zone. Might be you are going to heard this first time. You have to understand about what is a layer 2, what is a layer 3, what is a virtual wire, what is a tap mode, what is a sub interface, what is a DSCP, what is the virtual routers. So in all, might be you know about the layer 2 interface. You have seen the switches. You must be seen in the layer 3 interface where you assign the IP address. But I'm sure if you are learning the first time Palo Alto Firewall, you never heard about the virtual wire. If you are learning the first time Palo Alto Firewall, you never heard about the tap mode interface deployment. Why this special two type of interfaces there? You might be heard about the sub interface, you might be heard about the DSCP, but how the sub interface is going to be created in the Palo Alto Firewall, how the DSCP is going to be created in the Palo Alto Firewall, not only within the Palo Alto Firewall DSCP creations, also we have to integrate real DSCP server from the data center DSCP. Let's suppose I have the remote data DSCP. So how the relay is going to be configured so that my unicast request is going to send to DSCP server, and from there my client via the firewall, how they are going to get an IP address. So this level of the lab we are going to do that, and based on that you have the complete understanding. If my firewall is DSCP firewall, then what is the functionality is going to happen, how the IP assignment network configuration is going to happen. If it is not, if something different DSCP network I have, then what is the step-by-step process and configuration is going to look like. Similarly, as I mentioned that these firewalls, beginning of session, I mentioned that two things. Palo Alto never manufacture the routers and switches. Likewise, the Cisco. So are they not capable to do routing and switching? The answer is exactly opposite. The answer is yes, they are equally capable to process the routing and switching because they have integrated security, means the security feature is integrated with the layer 2 features and the routing feature as well. So within the firewall, you can do the MAC level of the communication, means layer 2 level. Switching, you can do that based on the MAC addresses. Okay. Layer 2 addresses. At the same time, within the firewall, the Palo Alto deploy one of the router. But this is the software router. Similar thing about the VRF. Within the router, we can create a multiple VRF, right? So even the router itself has been divided into multiple part and they become the virtual routers. Similarly, in the Palo Alto firewall, Palo Alto become as a hardware, means you can purchase as the hardware, even could be the software, but they are going to deploy one of the instance that is known as a virtual router. And these virtual router are capable to do any kind of the routing. It could be the BGP, it could be the OSPF, if you want to do the RIP, and if you want to do the static, default, if you want to do the multicast, these even the OSPF, V6, everything it is going to be, means it's going to be done. OSPF V3, it is going to be done in this particular router. Not EIGRP is not going to be supported here because it was a Cisco proprietary earlier. So Palo Alto never introduced this protocol in the Palo Alto network environment. So you can see everything you can do on this particular Palo Alto firewall, you can do all the configuration. So by leveraging this module, at least we have the complete routing informations, complete switching information. And in addition of that, we understand the security zone, we understand the virtual wire, tap mode, how it is going to be configured. Now moving to the next module. In the next module, we are going to discuss about security and NAT policy. That's also very key feature of the any firewalls. When you're discussing about the security and NAT policies, then you must have the very good understanding how the policy structure is going to be look like. What is the sequence of the policy? This is the most important thing, guys, right? People are always confused when we have the security level of the configuration. They don't know how to decide the sequence. What is the best approach to define the policy? So my sequence is going to be in place, and that sequence is not going to be create any major outages, right? So policy configuration is most important. At the same time, policy administration is also most important. So those we are going to understand, and when we are creating the policy for the any kind of firewall rule, we'll try to follow the same concept. And after policy, we have the NAT policy also. So in NAT, always you have to do the NAT. We have the lot of options like source NAT we have destination NAT, we have the U-turn NAT, we have the dual NAT. Only 4 types NAT is available in the Palo Alto firewall. No other NATs are available. So you must have to be make sure like all type NAT should be configured in the firewall, that should be tested in the firewall, and we utilize the exact real scenario use case, so you can easily understand if my company is going to leverage this kind of the NAT solution, how and what is the step-by-step process to deploy those NATs. Is it clear to everyone? Any doubt till here?
Yes.
Okay. So once we have these policies and NAT understanding, right, we have to move in the next section. And this next section is all about the next generation firewall, right? In this particular next generation features, right, we have the application ID, we have the content ID, we have the file blocking, we have the decryptions, everything is there, right? And trust me, because of these features, the firewalls are become very powerful nowadays. Because of these features, firewall are becoming very powerful nowadays because they can understand real time your applications. Within the packet, we have the layer 2, we have the layer 3, we have the layer 4, we have the layer 7, and some other information. Then finally, we have the payload, that is known as the data. So application identification is going to happen based on this particular, like what if the application you are going to access, whether this application is like basically going to be meet all compliance for the company, it is actually allow or not allow, it's a bad application, good application, risk associated with this particular applications, it's an entertainment application, it's a business application, your any kind of the file share application, any kind of the gaming applications. So those all things are going to be checked. And the content, the actual payloads are the most important thing to check, because always any kind of the attacks, either by the virus attack, antivirus attack, vulnerability attack, file filtering, URL filtering, right? File blocking, DOS, data filtering, wildfire. So we'll discuss what is a wildfire, but for the names, for the content, we have to discuss what is the antivirus, what is the anti-spyware, how it is going to actually come in your network. So we have to understand these all things by leveraging the content ID feature of the Palo Alto firewall. And once we apply the right content filtering firewalls, then it is going to be protect any malicious content, whether it is leaving from the network and whether it is coming to my network. So in both of the scenario, it is going to protect your all kind of the content related informations, right? And decryptions, we have the advanced feature that is known as SL decryption. These decryptions are going to help you in terms of the what level of the information you are passing, means is the HTTP or HTTPS. And if it is the HTTPS, so if you're passing this application from your firewall, so it is going to be encrypted format. So if it is going to encrypted format, so how my firewall is going to decrypt, and based on decryption, how that is going to take an action. So that level of the understanding also we have to make sure I should know about that. So we have to understand the configuration wise how my firewall is going to be decrypt though any kind of the encrypted traffic. And once it is decrypted, it is going to inspect my entire payload, entire content, and based on the inspection, it is going to apply or enforce the policies. So this is my decryption engine is going to play a very vital role. So those certificate management and how the inbound and outbound SL decryption is going to be happen, that also we have to understand. And we'll do everything in the lab environment where you guys having the correct understanding to just like make the testing about the all decryption technologies. Okay. Then next, we have to also understand, in my lab scenario, you can see here in this lab scenario, we have this Palo Alto Firewall, but we have the AD server. So in real AD server, I'm talking not the just the demo AD server. It is going to my real AD server, and the real AD server is going to deploy. It is going to be integrated with my Palo Alto Firewall. So if I have the real AD server, so if this AD server need to be integrated, and based on the AD server user ID, means any user you creating on the AD, so there have the username and password. So based on the username, not the password, how my policy is going to be enforced in regard of the what IP they have configured, that also we have to do the configuration. So AD integration we'll do in the live AD integration, FTP server integration, Linux integration, that all is going to be happen. And based on that AD integration, we 100% test how the user mapping is going to happen, how AD is going to be integrated on this particular Palo Alto Firewall. And based on the AD username, like you are going to log into your laptop and all, how many step by step the processing of the identifying those user, and after identifying those users, how I can enforce my right policy so that they can only access the right applications. So this also going to happen. Clear to all? Any question here? Please do ask. I know it's very basic things we're discussing about the course content, but it's very important. At least you should know like what the kind of the learning you are going to get. So just overview, but definitely it's my responsibility to make you aware. Even the course content, you know what all is going to be covered during our journey of this Palo Alto Firewall. Next is the most important. Every topic is most important because I keep using this word. So because this is the all topics are important. When you go for the interview, might be the interviewer is going to ask any question from the anywhere. So you should be very prepared for that. We have this site to site VPN, and one we have the client to site VPN. So we have two type of the VPN, client to site VPN, and one is a site to site VPN. So in this site to site VPN, we'll try and build the site to site VPN tunnel. We create the tunnels, IPsec tunnel between two site location, and we'll make sure one site LAN, how it is going to communicate with other site LAN via the tunnels. So those tunnel is going to build, and based on that, we integrate the actual LAN environment, and we'll see how the IPsec phase 1 tunnel is going to be up, how the IPsec phase 2 tunnel is going to be up, and how the traffic is going to process via the IPsec tunnel, and what is the use of the phase 1, what is the use of the phase 2, and what are the IKey version we have, IKey version 1, IKey version 2, what is we have the different mode. Like if I talk about IPsec, we have the main mode, not like we have the different protocol, like we have the ESP, we have the AH protocol. And why we are not going to use the AH, why you are going to ESP, and when you are going to ESP, use what is the tunnel mode, what is the transport mode, right? And when you talk about the IKE version, then what is the main mode, right? And how many packets are going to be exchanged in the main mode, right? What is the aggressive mode, and what is the peak mode for the IPsec phase 2? And then we'll try to compare the IKE version 1, IKE version 2. So you just have the complete understanding of the foundation of the IPsec on the theoretical level as well. And then we'll do the lab part. So that is going to work in this way. So at least you have the full understanding about the packet level. And after understanding the full packet level, you are going to deploy the lab level as well. Now we have the global protect. This global protect is a client to site, another type of the VPN. So we'll see how this global protect is going to be like deploy and how real time we have the labs as well. And we'll see these all deployment step by step. So you guys can going to understand without any hurdles. So let me show you. So if you simply close it here, you are going to find the labs also. So see here side to side VPN, how the side to side VPN is going to be configured. So we have the two branches in between, we have the ISPs and two firewalls are remotely located in two different branch locations. So how the tunnel is going to build between these two firewalls? In tunnel is going to build in like look like this way. So this tunnel is going to build from this location to this location. And once we build the tunnel, we'll see how the traffic is going to process via the tunnels. So this also we are going to understand. So this is the one use case. And if I talk about the another use case, the client to site, so that is the global protect. So let's suppose I have a data center and I have the remote client which is sitting in the anywhere in the world and they want to connect, then how this global protect configuration is going to happen. What is a global protect client and how the software of the global protect is going to install in the client, and then the how with the help of the software they are going to build the your tunnels. Okay, so that also going to be understand. Clear? Let me know if you have any question till here. And you can see meanwhile, my firewall is login. And in this firewall, you can see probably we have the policies available here. We created different policies. We some disable the policies. We have some NAT rule also because it's running on the weekend batch. So we are doing the like learning for the different professionals, and we are doing the different testing. So that's why this even see we have the lot of NATs configured. We have the static source NAT, we have the source NAT, destination NAT, U-turn NAT. So whatever NAT policy you have seen here, right? These all are already, because the classes has been finished for those, so that has been already covered here. Similarly, we have also applied a different content inspection. So if you see in the content inspections, you just have to go in the security policy. And in the security policy, we have tested different use cases, how the block the virus file, how the block the vulnerability, how the DOS protection is. So you just have to go the action. And you can see here, we have the profile, we have the antivirus profile, we have the vulnerability protection profile. We see here, we have the anti-spyware profile, we have the file blocking, we have the data filtering right now not created. Wildfire. So almost everything has been URL filtering, everything has been covered and tested except data filtering. That is going to be happened. It's not completed yet. So the actual thing you are going to get in the practical knowledge, and those practical knowledge is definitely going to boost your lot of knowledge level. So side to side VPN and Global Protect also going to do the similar kind of stuff. You are going to learn the VPN technologies, and by leveraging these VPN technologies, you are going to understand even two branch is going to be how connected over the IPsec tunnel. And if I am sitting in the home office, and still I want to make the SSL VPN or IPsec VPN, then how this is going to happen and how I can connect securely from the remote to the my data center or my internal network. Then we'll discuss about we'll discuss about that dashboards, means once I log into the Palo Alto Firewall, how my dashboard is going to be look like. So that let me show you. So if I just simply minimize, so see that this is dashboard. So how dashboard is, what is different parameters we have in dashboard? What is the widgets we have? What is the application system logs? How we can create my custom dashboards, right? What information I'm seeing here. So I'm not going to explain, but this is a dashboard. So we understand this entire dashboard functionality also, because you have to regular basis log into the Palo Alto Firewall. You have to log into the Panorama as well. So if you're going to log into the Panorama, you have to pull the report, you have to pull the loggings, means the log report as well. So you must have some kind of some sort of the knowledge. And if it is not available, right, diet knowledge in your mind, so probably you're going to struggle. So it's my like the recommendation, always try to understand each and every section because it's equally important based on your role. Let's say you are the implementation and configuration engineer. So you should be very much good in the all concept while how the configuration is going to happen, how the troubleshooting is going to happen. If it's just L1 or L2 monitoring or like troubleshooting engineer basics, so you just have to also know how to reporting management and troubleshooting skills, how it is going to develop. Okay. Last but not least, right? we'll end with our session with the active passive high ability and the active active high ability. These are two things, means how you must be know about the HSRP. So HSRP, we know that the VRRP, right? We know about the GLBP. We must have learned this concept, the CCNP, routing switching, right? It's a part of the ENCOR now. Earlier it was part of the routing switching, but now it's part of the CCNP ENCOR. NRC just having the uh, routing part. But in the CCNP ENCOR, you are going to learn these all FHRP protocol. This is known as a FHRP, First Hope Redundancy Protocol, and these having a 3 flavors. So the concept you are using the FHRP protocols like the VRRP, HSRP, and GLVP to just give the redundancy of my communication which is going to WAN from the LAN. Similarly, in the Palo Alto, they use the concept of the HA. So what does means HA? Let's suppose I have the single firewall and this firewall is connected with the internet cloud. This is my ISP. And behind the firewall, I have the complete LAN infra. So I have a lot of users are sitting here. If this firewall is going to dead, I am going to lost my all the communication from the LAN to the WAN. My all communication is going to lost, right? So how I can make them like more high available network? So probably I can deploy another firewall here, and this firewall is going to work in the HA, high availability. So this is also going to connect to my LAN. I'm just drawing the topology so you guys understand. We have the real topology. So in that case, what is going to happen? Primarily when this device is active, the all traffic is going to here. But in case this is going to be down, this is remain going to stay in the passive when it is active. But when it is going to down, it is going to become active and the traffic start going via this way. So you just have a zero downtime. So how this is going to happen? This is going to happen with the help of the active passive configuration. But if you want to make both firewalls active and you want to send the both firewall data at the same time, we have the different way of the doing this configuration. And for that also, we will make the active passive active deployment. So you can understand easily how the active is going to deploy, how the active passive is going to deploy. So these are the total 12 modules we are going to cover throughout this journey. And I'm expecting after covering, and definitely the most important thing after this all, we have the special sessions where we do the packet capture, right? We have to do like debug. This packet capture, we can do the Wireshark analysis, right? Debug via the CLI, how that debug is going to happen. So this is the part of T-shoot. Additional classes is going to happen for a T-shoot. So you understand how the Wireshark packet capture is going to be analyzed, what information is going to be happen in the packet capture, and then how debug is going to be happen and what information is going to happen in the debug as well. So these are the different method we are going to use to compile everything related to the Palo Alto, and this is my 100% like intention, and always I try to pass those knowledge which are more relevant to the industries, because being an engineer, I also want to give the right actual engineering, whatever is going to happen for the any company, for the any LAN or WAN network to secure the communication. What is the best industry practice and what is the different use case which are going to more reliable and secure for your network, that we are going to deploy in this lab scenario also, right? So any question, guys, please ask now, because we just discussed about the basic foundation of the Palo Alto. We discussed about the different course curriculum of this Palo Alto. Now, in next session, we'll discuss about the Palo Alto firewall. Where is the headquarter? That's a very easy to understand. And we discuss about after that, we'll try to discuss about what is the Gartner Magic Report? Why this is the leader of the particular market of the Palo Alto checkpoint firewall? We understand about the strata. We are going to cover Prisma, Cortex. We are discuss. Then we'll start doing discussion about the stateless versus stateful firewall. And at the same time, we will try to understand what is a firewall, and we'll try to understand the layman language how this firewall is going to be look like, and how basically it is going to become a threat defense for your network. So please ask your question so I can take your questions. And if you think like I need to explain something else you have in your mind, so please let me know that also as well. I'll try to take those questions as well. Anyone have to ask anything? Or everyone good? All good? Why so silent?
Yeah, right now, no question. But yeah, of course, after some time it will generate.
Yeah, I know. I can understand. Yeah. So probably how you can do that, right? So this is just the beginning of the session. So I know that you guys nothing to ask because being a beginner might be you don't have a lot of things in your mind. But in going forward, I know you guys are going to discuss a lot with me because as per my past experience, I know that how much curiosity is going to be created in your mind when I try to explain a lot of new topics. So based on that curiosity, you're going to ask a lot of questions. So my responsibility to resolve those questions so you can have the better understanding.
Hi, sir. Hi, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah, sir. Actually, sir, I want to know more about NAT, sir. It's why we are using NATs in Firewall?
Okay. So that's a good question, Ashutosh. You asking, right? So why we use the NAT, right? So first
Sir.
thing, yeah, in every industry, right? Either you are working for their company, hospital, IT, hospitality, right? Or even for your home as well. In regard of where you're working, one thing you have to do that you have to access the internet, right? Means I can put in this way: everyone have to access the internet. This is the one requirement. Whether you are in office, in home, or you're traveling, you love to access the internet, right? And how internet is going to be accessible? Internet is going to accessible. Internet will be accessible via IP address. Okay, this is the only method to access the internet. And what is IP address? IP address is nothing. It's just a logical address. Means any device must have the IP address. Either you are using the mobile phone, using the laptop, tablet, any digital device. If they want to communicate with internet, they must have the IP address, and that address, like your home address, that is your address, that is known as a physical address. Your your laptop MAC address, that is your physical address. Similarly, one of the logical address, that is also address, but this is not going to be hard coded over system. That is going to be logically configured. It can be changed anytime. It's not a hard code fixed. So that is required the IP address to access the internet. So everyone need to access the internet. Internet will only accessible by the IP addressing. Your device must have the IP address, or your device must have IP address. Okay. Now what is IP? This logical address. Now, if we talk in IP addressing, IP addressing types basically. So we have the private IP addressing and we have the public IP addressing. So which IP addressing is going to help to make the communication on the internet? That's another question, right? So in this private and public IP addressing, if you try to understand a bit more, so this only your public IP address will communicate with the internet. Private will never going to communicate with the internet. Means if you want to talk with the private IP address, you are not going to communicate with the internet. Okay. So two things you just do that. If we have the laptop, just do one thing. Just go in the command line. Let me do here. So I have the MacBook. So I'm going in the command line. So probably you have to go in the CMD and you just have to run the IP config, right? So in my case, it's not going to run this command, but if you're going to check the IP config for your case, it is going to work. For me, it is going to work IP if config. If I run this command, it is going to show my IP address. So you can see it is showing my IP address. Probably, what is IP address? Let me see. Let me see what is the IP address. I'm also the new Mac user, so I don't have much knowledge, but let me see some, it must be somewhere showing. So this is the loopback. Let me see. AP Ethernet. So see, this is my IP address. You can see this is my IP address. And you can see this is the broadcast address. And there would be the gateway as well, right? So gateway detail, it is not showing. But yes, we find the IP address. This is the INET IP address. So this IP address basically belong as a private IP address because we have the range of the private IP address that only going to start with the 10 dot means 10 series. It is going to start 10.0.0 to 10.255, 255, 255. Similarly, we have 192.168.0.0, 192.168.31.255 like that. And third one is the 172.16.0.0. So we have the 170. So only three is range of the IP addresses I have. By using those IP addresses, I can assign my IP addressing to my LAN environment. So I'll definitely cover in detail. But in short, I'm going to tell you the machine you are going to use, those machines are always going to use the IP addressing, that is the private IP address. And these private IP address are not capable to talk to internet. So to make sure these are become a capable to talk to internet, so you have to translate private IP to public IP so that your system can communicate with the internet. So you just have to translate to private to public. And this concept is known as the NAT, if you talk in the layman language. But NAT is the network address translation. It is just not going to use in the only the firewall. This can be used to any type of router as well. Okay. So we'll discuss in more detail, but yes, in short, you can understand if I want to go on the internet, my device having the private IP address, if they want to go to talk to the internet, they require the public IP address. So how my firewall is going to translate my public to private, private to public IP address, that technology is going to use, that is a network address translation. That's why we're using Asutosh. We'll discuss in more in the NAT section. Clear?
Yes, sir. Okay. I will discuss more and
Yeah. All right, guys. So we can wrap up this session here. Okay. And we'll connect in the next lecture where we can start the official curriculum discussion step by step for the all section. So thanks for joining. Have a great evening to all. See you again in the next class. Okay. Bye-bye. Take care.